Alright, it's 7 o'clock and I think we're ready to start the stream. Let me get hitched up and all jacked in here. Let's see, no one in the chat just yet, but a couple followers within the past month, not so bad. Let me close my door here. All right. Let's crack open this game. And we got Rev in the chat. All right, immediately. All right, let's see here. So make sure my picture is coming through. Just doing a few tests on the stream here, because I know I've been getting a black screen off OBS. All right. And we are looking good. All right, welcome back one and all to the archives. This is Game Archives. My name's Gordon, and I have missed last week. I very much apologize. So it has been 2 weeks since the last time we were in the kingdom of Hallownest. Welcome back to Hollow Knight. We are going to be doing another long-form, informative, lore-focused stream, focusing on the world of Hallownest, its characters, its ecology, its lore and history, doing a field study throughout this world. So, last when we left off, if I remember correctly, we were here in the Crystal Peaks, here in the industrial and economic center of Hallownest. Well, I suppose the economic center is a bit more along the lines of the City of Tears. But we just beat our most recent boss, being the Crystal Guardian, a large former miner here who has been both affected by the Radiance infection, if you'll remember all the conversations we've had about that and will have about it in the future, but was also covered in these strange pink crystals. Nope, can't go up that way yet. That we've been seeing all over the place, specifically just in the Crystal Peaks. This is a place that we remember last time was spoken of as a unique place for gathering resources for bugs in Hallownest. Here we also see, I believe I pointed this out last time, but right off the bat we want to zoom back in on this shift in architecture in the background here. Notice that we have not only the soul totem from the ancient civilization we've been talking about here and there, once again showing that even here in the Crystal Peak, this height of Hallownest, we are seeing this unusual architectural change, these spiraling pillars in the background, the curling of the floor tiles, I mean, like turning from wood to this dark surface, and of course, these soul-attuned totems. So today, I am actually a little bit behind in my notes, so today is going to be a bit of a housekeeping day. We are going to continue our mission, as I was last time, of gathering up as many traversal abilities as I can so we can really crack this game wide open. We have the dash, we have the mantis claw, and we are going to get the crystal dash, if I can remember where I am. Yes, I remember you have to beat the Crystal Guardian. I believe we're just going down and around then. Well, let's take a moment to get our bearings and review a bit while we're here. This will, of course, all be on the test. See here, we're re-encountering the Crystal Miners, individuals who, much like the soldiers we saw in the City of Tears, were affected by the Radiance, but almost in an automaton-like state, ended up just returning to work, just doing the thing they remember most doing. Oh. And an... Ow! In another example of the unusual qualities of these crystals here in the peak, while I take as much damage as humanly possible, is their ability to refract and project light. I have a couple theories on it, but I don't know if any of them exactly hold water. Oh god, we're here. Alright, so I am out of practice, and this is maybe my worst level in the game. So we're going to be talking about art and architecture for a little while I die a lot. So this one's pretty easy. Hup. I would like to make note of that. Culturally, Hallownest, it's a very Hallownest thing to be so committed to like aesthetic and filigreeing on things that on your industrial equipment you have these rib shapes, these eye motifs on them, and this rather unusual, I'd almost call it like maybe a bug shape, maybe even, we've seen the shape of the Hollow Knight itself in the City of Tears. That pincer shape on the very top almost evokes the shape of the Hollow Knight to me. Which, again, I don't really know what that says about the process of the Crystal Peak, what these crystals were used for. We do know that they're able to focus power, as we've seen. They can put light through them, and they're more stable than Soul. So, oh, buddy. We'll be back for that little guy, I promise. So, the Soul researchers of the Soul Sanctum were working more in this high-end, like, almost theoretical physics realm of research. Okay, we need to get around there. Is it up and around? But no, there was that grate there. I've done this in practice, but again, it's been a little while. Whereas individual bugs that needed, you know, magical powers for something, needed lights, although the lights were often lumiflies. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to be doing some research on and off camera about the uses for the crystals here. But we see how abundant they are. If we look at the particle effects here, there are these tiny crystals that are moving lighter than air all around us. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Whoop, nope. Nope, there we go. And down, up, there we go. Okay. Alright, hoping I still have that muscle memory in me. Something about these pattern puzzles just absolutely messes with me. But we got that grub, as promised. Another thing I really like about the Crystal Peaks, we can see all this exposed machinery, this sort of stag beetle-shaped head machine with all these engraved and carved gears. Again, a huge focus on craft, no matter where you go in Hallownest. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Even the minecarts, these very purpose-built things, you see they have something almost evoking the Hallownest seal on it in shape. Let's see if we can go down and around. Well, that certainly isn't open yet. Is that because I was lazy or because we haven't been here? That's the question. I'm hidden. Yeah, the crystals here, they take on... It's an entirely unique color scheme. All the purples and pinks in this area are entirely unique. You don't, like, every area of Hallownest, like I've said before, like Green Path is a really good example. They do a lot with their colors to make you feel like you're in a different place. The team at Team Cherry that... Oh, I do not want to deal with these guys. Hey, come over here. I'm gonna see if I can cheese them. There we go. The team at Team Cherry, they focus a lot on their environmental design and the mood of whatever place you're in. This is a very, very moody game. But here it's a little brighter. It's still got that melancholic, sort of darker color palette, but these purples and these pinks add these flashes of color. Alright, here we go. This is much tougher, and I'm pretty sure it's mandatory. This game gets hard. It gets a lot harder. So, wait for it to come down. Down, 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 go. Down, 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 go. Really riveting commentary here. Again, looking at the background, you'll notice that, like, we had that sort of... that we've gotten sort of Art Deco motifs a lot of the time, with some of that also Victorian Rococo-ish design around things. But here, we're getting very hard lines, really hard angles. That's putting us more in the mind of industry, but also in the world of Art Deco. How do I do this again? No. It's tough to talk and platform. It's tough to talk in game. So I might get quiet here for just a second, because these things always really bug me. No, I might die. I might die here. Yeah. You really got to keep your head on a swivel with this kind of thing. We're back up here, so we just head down. Yeah, just head down. Yeah, we have time to talk about the crystals of the Crystal Peak themselves. While I'm not entirely certain on their function at the moment, I am of the mind that they have their own thought, their own purpose to them. So, these crystals, I don't think they think, per se, but we hear reference to them, I believe, in the Hunter's Journal and from some other NPCs in the area, that they sing. They have this resonance to them. And they're able to... Well, later on, we're going to talk about rocks that think, so be prepared for that. All right, hang on, here we go. Down, 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 go. Down, 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 go. Oh, not quite. But I think this is more crystals that feel, so we're kind of in... Don't you do... All right, fine, come here then. You want to make this infinitely harder for me, don't you? Down, down, down. Down we go. Come on, there we go. All right. Put my soul back in my body. I'm sorry you guys had to see that. Down. Down, got it. All right. Come back here. Why did I do that? One thing that also bugs me about these is that the sides of them also count as hitboxes. So you can just sort of like brush your head on the side of this thing and it kills you immediately. I guess, you know, we're spreading good messages about not playing with industrial machinery. That's nice. Also, one very, very tiny detail if you look closely. These little metal gratings in the back, on these little platforms where I'm standing, I think they're meant to look like those chests of Geo we see elsewhere in the game. Again, just imagery of commerce around here. But more importantly, I gotta figure out how to get through this thing, so... Crush, down, nope. I've played this game so many times. Also notice while we're at low health, a little insight on our character. You know how we've talked about particles of the void before, the void being an important elemental force in this world, and us being connected to it. You can see those same particles coming off of us, as well as the low health indicator on our mask. So even me being bad at the game is educational. Got it. This is the worst one. Alright, cool. No problem. Just gotta get through all this with 1 health. Is there... Maybe I can open up the bench down there or something, please? Hey, bud. Yes, okay, cool. Sometimes I am so cracked at this game, and other times this happens. But I think I can go back around and come back up and not lose my progress. That's weird. I started with 1 Geo. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I don't know why that would be the case. Little gift. A little $1 for me. But yes, I guess, you know, other just housekeeping stuff while we're starting off the stream. The reason why I was gone last week is because I have started a new job. I don't want to reveal too much about my life, but it is a very fun, albeit currently temporary position that I am actually doing something similar to this. I am teaching. And again, it's not something that might turn into anything serious, but it's very fun to do in the meantime. And also the first week was really hectic, and just between that and actually going outside and touching grass, it was difficult to get back to the stream. So I'm not going to apologize for having a life, but I do want to make sure everyone knows. Alright, I guess I'm stuck here. I live here now. Yeah, that's all open. So back to the crystals. So we were going to see them here pretty shortly, and we've already seen some examples in the most recent boss fight. I guess I'm going... Am I going back through these, or do I need to come back from the bottom? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take us on a little walk, talk about some crystals, come back around the bottom, grab that bench, grab my shade, and then we will be back to that old critical path. Oh, thank you. Let's see. was looking at the chat for the longest time, like, is that Rev or am I dyslexic? I read just a completely different username. Oh, and see, yeah, those levers from earlier, we can shut these down, and it makes our lives a lot easier. That is one gripe I kind of have with the Crystal Peaks, is, whoop, first of all, my frame's dropping. But, that they're, like, just mechanically, there are some areas where you'll find a lever that looks really important, and it's not immediately clear where it goes. Just a small thing. I'm not too worried about it. But you see it here more often because this is just a very mechanical area. And it's one that's pretty compact. It loops back around on itself a lot. Now there you are, you. Oh, right, it can Desolate Dive. Okay. Yeah, your Shade really learns how to do all the things that you do. Which is genuinely creepy. Because in many ways, like, that's something interesting to think about, too, while we're here, is that the Shade very much is you. It's what's inside you. Often, in the game, it's connected to things like regrets or memories. So, in a way, it's the thing you leave behind, it's your mark on the world, but it's memory, it's regrets, it's this very strange, nebulous thing, and it kind of stays that way even as we progress through the game. Like, we learn more about it, we learn more about what it is, but it remains this sort of semi-non-literal presence in the game's storytelling. Alright, let's grab this bench. It's an easier checkpoint. Matter of fact, I think, while we have a second, let's take a look. You need to go. You need to be gone yesterday. Let's take a look at the Hunter's Journal for just a sec. That's the map. There we go. Let's see. Gotta beat a bunch more Shard Mites to get anything out of them. Limbacks, Crystal Hunter. Husk Miners. Yes, this is one I actually wanted to learn more about anyway. Let's see. The bugs of Hallownest lusted after the strangest things in life. They would dig furtively through the dirt for stone, ore, and in particular the crystals that grow at the top of the world. See, there is a very important sentence that I wanted to highlight. The top of the world. So as we know, Hallownest is almost entirely underground. All of this game, I believe, I'd have to find a direct source for this, but Team Cherry said they wanted the game to sort of feel like an ant farm, if I'm remembering correctly. And you get that feeling, like you look at the map and it's this built on top of itself, carved out of dirt, very vertical place. And yeah, let's... Where was I going? What am I doing? This way? Not this way. Frames drop and I immediately fall into spikes. That's not this way. I think we just keep going up. You do not get to do that to me. But when it mentions the top of the world, and we're seeing like the slightly brighter lights, these more unusual color patterns, that sort of thing, I'm starting to think that these crystals are capturing sunlight. Something extremely rare in an entirely subterranean city. And I'll investigate with the rest of you guys next time we head up to Dirtmouth. Alright, let's go gamer mode here for a second. Oh, analysis paralysis, did you see that? Alright. Dash, pull back, dash, too much. This is why I like to bring a little bit of soul in with me. Just so I can heal on the way, but we've just not been so lucky. Because the spacing is so tight around here. Let's see if I can go gather up some soul from some enemies. Some gormless rubes I can smack the hell out of for a sec. Yeah, and I think with Dirtmouth, it's not necessarily that we're still underground, though there is some debate. I believe it's just cloudy. Like, I think it's just overcast and dour like it usually is in this game. But, you know, say on a day when the sun's out, here at what they said, the top of the world, it's going to get sunlight. And these crystals are beaming sunlight at such a high frequency that it could be understood that they are capturing and refracting light from the sun and moving it through the mountain, as it were. And these crystals having this this living quality to them, this unusual... Well, we haven't been in there yet. Let's stick our heads in here and see if we can sniff out any lore. I think it's just a platforming puzzle, but... These living crystals, they are... I would say it's not completely accurate, but they're almost photosynthesizing. That they're retaining sunlight and using it as energy. So you could very much say that, you know, when we're hit by the beams from these crystals, it's almost like frying an ant under a magnifying glass. Oh, right. Hang on. Can I... Oh, not quite. Oh, this is bad. Okay, we're gonna go on a little walk, folks. Welcome back to the resting grounds. Yeah, I think I can just head right back up to Dartmouth and we can pop back in. That's something to keep in mind, though. Let's mark that on the map and recount our failures and learn from them. Again, back in the resting grounds, I want to make note again of this radiance imagery we see in the background. Very different from the normal Pale King or Hallownest imagery. Definitely reflecting this place was built by the Moth tribe. Now, that is a whole spiel I went into on a previous stream, but for folks just joining us, oh, again, excellent example of this ancient civilization style architecture that we were seeing in the Crystal Peak. That the Moth tribe, being moths, were drawn to their god, the Radiance, the being of the rising sun, the glowing light, moths being drawn to a flame. This is not where I need to be. And so, while it's largely been forgotten, we can tell that, you know, because of the Pale King, it's been forgotten. Do we have more essence while we're here? Just while we're making a pit stop? He's here. Last of the Moth tribe. Yeah, 200 more essence, so just fight some ghost enemies or something along those lines, and we'll have the proper amount of essence. But yeah, the Radiance has been largely forgotten, but we're seeing these motifs that if you've played the game before, you know what the Radiance looks like. You're aware of that. But this very subtle shape with this corona on top of it, and again, Twitch, I am talking about the sunrise motif, not the thing that we don't talk about on the internet, apparently. No conspiracy theories, you know, get vaccinated, all that. But yeah, we're seeing these traces of something that's been forgotten culturally here in a place that is still sacred to the very last of the moths. What's up, man? That lovely young lass has returned to us. I must admit I'd placed thin odds on her survival. Seems to think very highly of her rescuer, some sort of dashing warrior type. Barely stopped gushing since she got back. The warrior must have passed down below whilst I was taking my nap. Such a shame. I'd have loved to meet so impressive a bug. Once again, Elder Bug absolutely missing the plot. Is there anything I can buy up here? I have a ton of money. Hey. Papanada. Let's mark Whispering Roots. Those are always good for lore. Same with these. Thank you, Iselda. Can I just talk to her? Of all the places to end up, we picked this dreary town. I thought it was a temporary stop, then my husband became obsessed with that old ruin. Now he's spending all his time down there. He argues cartography is sound business, but other than you, who's buying? I mean, I'm keeping you guys in business. Also, like, if we want to talk about the infrastructure around here, are you guys, like, buying food or paying rent? It seems like you guys are just kind of living in huts. Yeah, I'll buy a vessel fragment. Thanks, man. Is that the third one we need? Yes, it is. Okay. More soul. Perfect. Alright, quick pit stop. And back to the Crystal Peak. Back to getting crushed with hammers. Oh, hey, also. Ah, another wielding a weapon. I suppose you'll be leaving many a corpse in your wake. If you won't spare thought for the dead, at least consider all the extra work you force upon those in my profession. A gravedigger. Anything else? Do as you will, little wanderer. Cut a path towards your goal. I shouldn't complain. It's your kind that keeps folks like me in business. You know what, man? Get out of here. Getting close to that 200 essence. As a matter of fact, while we're here, we can actually see some people who are holding still and read some minds. To descend into that ruin. Why? Things are so much simpler up here. Yeah, the dream nail, I want to actually get, there's a charm that you can use to swing it a little faster, so you can more viably do it in combat. Wherever you are, whatever it is you do now, I hope you three are looking after yourselves. Another little bit of insight to some characters we'll meet later. Sly's got more to him than we expect. And Isolde, what you got? I'm glad I put down my weapon. This quiet life with Corny makes me a lot happier. It would be so nice to stretch my legs again, though. Sometime soon. I really thought for the longest time that would mean, like, an Isolde boss fight or something like that. Like, she's got this cool warrior past. Let's read someone's mind while she sleeps. White Wanderer, don't be shy. Cold outside. Bed is soft. Alright, Bretta. The stuffed doll and painting and fanfiction of me already was not amazing, but okay. I am the one who broke into your house. That's entirely fair. Yeah, I'm excited to have the dream nail now. I think that's going to open up... We can't take the shortcut yet because I didn't get it. Alright. Forgotten Crossroads it is. Let's see if our traversal abilities open anything else up while we head this way. Smack. Smack. Temple of the Black Egg. Anyone home? Nope, just spooky as ever. This doesn't do anything, does it? No. Alright. Always worth exploring. Oop. Just charge right through that guy. Excuse me, sir. There we go. Crystal Peak. Back to it. You okay? Bury my body. Cover my shell. What meaning in darkness, yet here I remain. I wait here forever, till light blooms again. We can see that Mila is starting to succumb to the infection. Obviously much, much later than everyone else. But yeah, we talked about this last time, the kill the empty one. So that just tells us that the Radiance knows who we are and wants us dead. We are a threat to it. And it's this kind of creepy feeling, isn't it? That this godlike being, through the eyes of every enemy we fight, is always watching us. I could have gotten that thing, you know. Ugh, no. Well, it's not that worth it. I want to leave no stone unturned, but some stones just have rancid eggs under them. Leave me be. We can see here again, looking at these conveyor belts, the crystals are being processed. They're being broken down. They almost look like rock tumblers that they're going into. God, these guys are good shots. They're being processed. Alright, grab my bench. Okay, so we pass through and head back up. Let's just prudent with these platforms. You have the classic platformer, you know, only jump on it once kind of platform. I do love the sound design on them, though. That, like, shunk is really satisfying. Yeah, can't get me now. I was about to say I'm wise to your tricks, then I got stabbed in the face. I'm wise to some of your tricks. Alright, we're back. After that little mishap. There's gonna be more of this. Oh, okay. Can I just, like, walk under this? Yeah, I can. Because of the speed of the conveyor belt. Chunk, down, nope. Trying to be too precious with it, I think. Yeah, we can just walk under him. I was overthinking it, as usual. So that just brings us back up here. Does that open the... turns off all the head squashers. I see, again, it's one of these levers that, like, I'm not completely certain what it does. Does it let us come back up? I doubt it would do anything on another screen, but yeah, we need to get up and around here, so... The way to go seems to be up. Yeah, because our map is mostly filled in around here. And I do know there's somewhere up here we can actually find a key that opens up more of Sly's shop, which we are in desperate need of. Because that gives us more keys that opens up more places that lets us snoop around. Yeah, we just need to hop up here. Again, I wrote all my notes and, like, practiced this out, and then I was indisposed for several weeks. You'd think you'd take yourself around here, around here. I don't want to be running in circles. But that is also a lot of what this game is. Like, I've said it a million times, it's a game that invites you to be lost for a little while. So I thought it would be a good game to pick first for the series while I'm still kind of getting my streaming legs. I wanted something that allowed me to wander around, find details I hadn't seen before. Because, you know, I have my little notes, my little fun facts I have written next to me. But a lot of this is just speculating, looking around, finding a little detail in the background. Ah, can't get me. I need to stop saying shit. I absolutely need to stop saying shit. Can I go up from there? That's still marked out. Because that's the thing, this area is sort of subdivided, right? You can start here pretty much whenever, as long as you have, like, the Mantis Claw. And then you have to go back down, get another traversal ability. After you get this traversal ability, come back up, then you have the rest of the area open. It's you know, it's very Metroidvania. But I can't deny that it is satisfying. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, that's exactly what I was looking for, the shopkeeper's key. That actually gives us a little bit more insight in the Soul Sanctum. by a number of transitive properties. Is there anything over here? Or are you just a nuisance? You're just a nuisance. Okay. Yeah, notice here we're getting into more, like, not quite administrative, but almost more like a break room. There's, like, you know, personal belongings on shelves. There's places to sit down. There are just these little nooks and crannies that aren't, like, purpose-built for construction. And I think we're looking at more of an area where workers would egress and make their way around. And that implies to me as well that in that little side room, like that, I don't know, lost and found table or something we're looking at there, that either means that someone found a lost key of Sly's or he was here at some point. I kind of doubt, like, pre-infection since we found him down in the tunnels. Oh, hey. But I think he was just scavenging. But here's a buddy. Ah, quite a view, no? I'm not surprised you survived the trek through these shimmering caverns. There's an air of strength about you. I suspect it would be quite intimidating if not for your small stature. Thank you? Short king? Short genderless monarch? Did it sadden you to see those miners below, still laboring at their endless task? Even overcome, strong purpose has been imprinted upon their husks. The crystal ore is said to contain a sort of energy, not as powerful as the soul the city dwellers harnessed, but far less lethal. Again, we talk about the difference between the crystals and soul. Strange to know such ancient facts. I wonder from where my knowledge comes. He is just like me, for real. People, like, I'm constantly throwing out fun facts, and people will ask me, it's like, oh, hey, how'd you know that? I don't know. You can look it up, it'll be right, I just have no idea. At this high vantage, I can just make it out. The light from that sad little town. I doubt its residents could even comprehend the scale of the world that surrounds them. And we're kind of seeing up here, I do think we're above ground, looking at the wind and the tops of the mountainsides here. So I think my sunlight theory might hold. But we hear people talking about the strange energy in these crystals, I can't do anything up there. And I do think that they have something to do with sunlight. I wonder if I can... Come here, get a little closer. Dig, kill, wealth. Yeah, when we, well, yeah, I need... Guess what ability I need? When you dreamnail a lot of enemies, you end up... You get these very fractured thoughts. Sometimes interspersed with thoughts from the Radiance. But I actually forgot. We can pop over and dreamnail Quarrel, see what he's thinking. These winds cry lonely. Better the comfort of rock above one's head. Yeah, again, I think that just further confirms that Dirtmouth is in fact on the surface. Yeah, so up here, we can't really go much farther yet. I didn't think this is the way. This one bit, again, this whole area I think is just, like, not made for the way I think. I'm not quite sure what it is about it. Because we pass through here. Hop on the bench, update map. Again, I think these things behind us, which again, really, really cool little 3D effect, just used by layering these pictures you can see on the back one, that makes it look 3D. It's almost like a pop-up book. It's so fun. But I do think these are some kind of, like, shell furnace, I want to say. Maybe something that uses the crystals. Maybe something that's actually using their power. But come to think of it, I don't think there's anything, really, in the game that you can see using these crystals for certain. But I'd have to think about it. Do I need to go up here? Because I really remember these crushers being important, but again, my memory fails me about this area. Yeah, because this just takes you here, that unlocks all that and turns off the crushers. Was that all just for some geo? Down. Time is looking pretty good. We're only about 40 minutes in. So we got plenty of time for me to futz around. Is it good content? Not necessarily, but I never said I was here to make good content. I'm just talking. Yeah, this just takes us back to that drop down to the resting grounds. Yeah. I think... Yeah, the way we need to go is right, but... It's a matter of getting there. I think we need to go up and around, is my guess. It is interesting, in that last bit that we read from the mind of one of the miners, is that one of the things that still remains on their mind after who knows how long infected is wealth. And this idea, you know, there were civilizations that we've seen that were around before the Pale King came and did his thing, but the fact that wealth is a concept, I think, judging by the City of Tears, that's new. That's unusual. The fact that, you know, even in your dying moments, wealth can still be on your mind. It speaks to maybe the double-edged sword of... I'm just going to keep taking damage while I talk. The double-edged sword of a big air quotes awakened mind, you know? And also, like, just on a more, like, micro scale of what's going on here, just kind of the weird ways the radiance affects you. It's this really bizarre... Oh, thank you. Got some encouragement from the chat. And also, you're talking about YouTube. I have wanted to do more scripted stuff for YouTube, but as of right now, you can always check out Game Archives on YouTube, where I post all of these VODs. Yeah, I have some stuff that I'm interested in that's not necessarily lore related, but I do really enjoy. How do you... I'm throwing myself off here. I'm getting inside my own head. Yeah, I always encourage folks to check out the VODs. If you're watching the VOD right now, thanks for catching it on YouTube. I am 100% just as happy to see comments and subscribers on YouTube as I am to see folks here. I am just happy that what I'm doing here is getting out, being heard, and being enjoyed. Oh, those little diagonal shots bother me. Bother me very deeply. Alright, hey, give me some soul. You. Oh, looks like we got 2 folks watching, I believe. That's nice. That's about my usual. That's kind of my max lately. Yeah, I'm still kind of figuring out YouTube too. I'm not the biggest SEO algorithm guy, so I'm figuring out, you know, what tags work, what kind of things get eyes on it. Because my first video, my first VOD I posted, you know, for a first video ever uploaded, wasn't half bad. It got, I think, something in the ballpark of like 35 views or so. You know, nothing huge, but hey, if you're just starting out, that's pretty solid. But everyone since has been a lot more of a dud. I don't know if it's just something about the algorithm, what tags I used, but see if I can't bottle that magic at some point. Wanderer's Journal, very nice. Alright, I'm gonna maybe take a little damage here, or not. Maybe I'm very good at the game. Maybe I'm just good at the game. Alright, here we go. Get a little soul off this guy. Yeah, so then we can just pop down there. That just takes us back up here, but I think we can go around, do what we need to do. It also just raises the question in my mind when I say something like that. Like, we've learned a little bit about, you know, the knight who we're playing as, but I don't know how much it knows what it's doing. You know, it never speaks, it doesn't have a mouth, we don't learn much from it. And obviously, you know, as a first-time player, if you're coming into this, you are in as much the same boat as your character. You can only know as much as your character does, especially with a silent protagonist like this. And yeah, I think there's a lot we've seen already with the nature of Void, with the nature of other things like us, which we'll actually get to here in the stream. We don't have a lot of thoughts. Our head is pretty empty. So I don't know if we're just acting on instinct or memory, maybe. But all that philosophy aside, we have a really cool logo graphic here. And notice we have this huge construct back here, this bug-shaped thing behind us. There's no real confirmation on what these are, but I personally like to believe that they are in fact mechs. Because little bug mechs, I think, is fantastic, and they evoke that mecha feeling to them. And we can see here these really, really distinct shapes. Like down at the bottom, this maybe almost skeletal shell kind of shape, and the most recognizable one being one of these mining construction type mechs that we're looking at. They could also be automatons. You know, this is a very, very advanced society of bugs, and here's another one that we can see more in full view. We just don't really know what they were capable of. We'll be back for you, buddy. But obviously they were being worked on in here. They have these struts that are holding them up to the ceiling. There was work being done, and these things were a part of the mining process. Platforming here. See here, this is where I talk more about the sunlight thing, because it is getting bright up here. And there's one, once we get the other traversal ability I'm talking about. Here's some entirely unassisted beams not coming from living creatures. Again, I'm sensing sunlight. But we will get to a little bit of evidence after I get that other traversal ability. And I think we'll just come right back here, I'm thinking. And we'll be able to learn a little bit more. This is kind of a tricky timing. There we go. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright, we're good. Hop over. Alright. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. Yeah, that's bad. It sets us way, way back. Beam, and here we go. Let you do your thing, let you do your thing. Hop through that. Oh no. This is bad. This is so bad. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. That one jump, that's really messing with me. Wow. Oh god. Okay, we've opened up the map some more. We're not too blocked off like we were. Yeah, we can just hop through there. Yeah, talking about YouTube, just back on that train of thought. I've actually been a little sad. I haven't seen any comments. I'll even take some mean comments at this point, you know? They spice things up. And, you know, I'm not thick-skinned per se as a person, but honestly, people who take time out of the day to be mean to a random stranger on the internet, I, you know, don't put too much credence into. So it's just, they're kind of just funny to see. And also the fact that, like, uploading on YouTube, and I know, like, once things start to get traction, once people start seeing things, it's going to be that creator studio. That's going to be, like, looming over my shoulder. Because, like, that thing is built to make you feel bad. You know, anyone watching this who is also an aspiring YouTube creator, what YouTube and, you know, by extension Twitch, whatever platform you're on, wants from you is more content. Whatever you're making, they just want more. So a way to make you feel like you're being forgotten, not being thought about, because, you know, we live in an economy of attention. I'm sure you've heard the term attention economy before. Making, like, this huge back-end studio, it's like, oh, your click-through impressions were down by 15%, or, you know, your comment ratios or whatever it's telling you. It, first of all, barely means anything to me. Like, I just kind of want to know if people are seeing the videos and if they like them. That's it. And even then, like, this is very much content for me. I am making content for myself, and if someone else likes it, that's cool. But, like, once people get, like, really lost in the sauce on, like, impressions and algorithm stuff, like, I want anyone watching this to just not let that be me. Because I want to do this for the love of the game. It would be cool if I got some recognition. It would be even cooler if I got some money. Because, you know, the jobs I'm working aren't paying too much. But I think ultimately what you have to keep in mind is that this is all, you know, it's a game. It's all fun. It's a hobby. Ooh, and here we have my retinas being burned directly out of my skull. This is, we'll see more like it, but this is very much a Chozo statue inspiration from Metroid. Again, lots of homage paid to Metroid in this game. But let's get our brain blasted out, shall we? The Crystal Heart. Again, the wording on this is really interesting, is consumed the Crystal Heart. So whatever was powering these bug automata not only seemed to be from the same energy as these crystals, but is able to impart it onto a shell like ours. So, what does the Crystal Heart do, you may ask? That's a super dash, baby. It's one of the most satisfying abilities in this game. I'm a huge fan of it. You don't get to use it too often, but just look at this. I love any game that just lets you, like, fly. Oh, right. The grub. Can't forget the grub. Get position, and... whoop. Hey, buddy. Get out of here. Alright. Yeah, I'm thinking we explore that little gap that we fell down earlier, down to the resting grounds. Head down to the Ancient Basin. Get ourselves the Mothwing... not the Mothwing Cloak, that's what looks like a stash. The Monarch Wings. And then head back up here for some more spicy lore. Go. It's also so satisfying. It's that feeling of, like, cleaning up that you get. Like, once an area, like, all the dangerous stuff is turned off, you can get anywhere in it. It gives me that same satisfaction of, like... honestly, I do clean more in video games than I do in my own house, but that feeling you get in a game, like in Stardew Valley or something, where you've, like, cleaned everything up, everything is nice and pristine and where it's supposed to be. And I mean, I'll tell you, like, if in real life, when I cleaned up my room, it made like a little flop sound when I picked it up, I would clean so much more often. Just give me more sound design. No. Alright, this guy needs to go. There you go. Thought that was a platform. I'm going to always think that was a platform. Alright, cool. Excuse me. Alright, back here. So, notice we're seeing something a little bit familiar there on the far end. We look to be in another snail mound. Very, very out of the way, this one. And again, this is something I want to connect to. I do believe there is a connection. This is the first inklings of a theory I'm going to share in full in a later episode. I believe there's a connection between the snail shamans and this ancient soul-wielding civilization. Okay, that's almost all my soul. Good. I could have walked across that. There's probably some stuff over there. The crystallized mound. This is a little tricky. Really glad I got the long nail. I think that was a good pick. Just dealing with these flying enemies. This is what we're doing. It's fine. I'll take a little damage off of it. That is one thing about the visual design here, is that, like, the crystals, it's sometimes hard to tell what's going to hurt you. Like, these crystals kind of look like environment, but they also very much look like they could kill me. In this game, it's best to assume that something is going to kill you if it looks like it's going to kill you, though. Because it probably will. Oh, I didn't know I was going to bounce off of that. That's weird. That was on purpose. Alright. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get up here. Notice all these masks, too. These are... Not only do we have these masks covering the floors, which, come to think of it, are a lot like the stone decorations we saw in the resting grounds. Although these seem to be, like token-like. Oh, hang on. Alright, simple request. Notice that, again, when we... Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's really, really good for my theory. First of all, upgraded Descending Dark. I don't tend to use the Desolate Dive very often, but it's been made better. I prefer to use my soul for healing. But we saw there void particles, very much like the ones I was talking about earlier, that came into my body, and you saw me almost turn to a shade there for a second. Again, I believe there is a connection between the Snail Shamans and Void. I am fairly confident about this. And once we start talking more about Void and the ancient civilization, I think I have some more supporting evidence that will really clinch it. I'm going to see if there's anything I missed while I'm here, because that was actually the right way to go. Yeah, I don't think Descending Dark opens up any sort of traversal options. Oh god. That does kill you. Good to know. Opens up any sort of, like, traversal options, but it's just good. It's good fighting. See, I keep... First of all, taking 2 damage. I actually don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's brutal. Turn back around. You just got to do all this in one confident stroke. Oh. Is that it? Yeah, okay, that's it. Just a soul totem for... in a very awkward area for no reason. That is something also, you notice if I, like, tap the sides of these things, they will still turn over. So you need to be really, really precise with your... with your platforming. Hey, little guy located. We're getting tons of grubs. I actually might stop by the Grub Father sometime soon just to get a little extra money. I don't know what other big money sinks we have coming up, come to think of it, but yeah, I know that they're going to be necessary. Ooh, also, I totally forgot. Looking at the time, yeah, we're about an hour in, so depending... Oh, great, thank you. So, depending on how much time we have, I'm going to... Actually, I don't want to lose my money, thank you. I'm also going to see if I can get Isma's Tear. That's me. That's the death of me. Yeah, I'm just going to pop back in, grab my shade, and then go. Because I don't think there's anything else I much need. Yeah, Crystallized Mound, that's just right under that area, so I just need to drop down, go through. Head them up, move them out, rawhide. Yeah, so it is the Crystal Dash, the not Mothwing Cloak, I keep saying that, the Monarch Wings, they sound similar, and Isma's Tear that I'm looking for. Those get me over pretty much any traversal option that I'm going to need. Sometimes when I talk, I look at my mic like it's another person, and I stop paying attention to the game. But I'm still just like running on autopilot. I just walk directly into enemies. It's a cool, fun, sexy thing about me. Oh, hang on, I feel a sneeze coming on. Yeah. Excuse me. Really cool for this relaxing stream. My apocalyptic dad sneeze. For anyone who doesn't know me watching, I am not a father, I just have the sneeze of one. Oh, last one. Great. Guys, really, guys. You know what? I think where my shade's going to be, I'm going to have to go through that platform again anyway. As a fun little trick from the game to me. But it's so nice to have this extra soul container. Because now even when my soul is broken, I can have just as much as I had before. Yeah, this just takes me back here. Where are you, little guy? I don't hear the spooky nursery rhyme music. Oh, there it is. Oh, fantastic placement. Excellent. No notes. Come here. Come here. Yeah, you see me. Come on. See, again, you just can't nick the sides of those things. Wait, I don't need to be up here. Ooh. You're really following me. Wow. Alright. You're like obsessed with me or something? Alright. Yeah, so there are multiple other Snail Shaman mounds. You know, they are places we will be able to visit in the game. I can think of one other off the top of my head, but... Oh, actually... Yeah, I'm going to grab the Monarch Wings. But I think we might need to make a little detour to Greenpath at some point. That just reminded me. Yeah, the only place I believe we find a living Snail Shaman is in the Forgotten Crossroads, near where we fought the False Knight. Do I really need to go back through here? I'd like to open up the shortcut to Dirtmouth. Just because it's convenient, and also it's a neat little bit of world connectivity. Yeah, I think next stream, like once I have these abilities all unlocked, we're going to go on just a little trip down memory lane through the past few areas we've been in. And really, like, get deep into it, get to the places we couldn't get to before. Get our field study into high gear. Who's excited? Also, while we have a little bit of downtime, I do want to shout out some further inspirations for the series. Obviously, I've talked about Mossbag, who's one of the big creators for Hollow Knight. I know, you know, me, a tiny creator, doesn't really need to shout him out. He's doing fine, but go check out Mossbag. He's very, very cool. Mossbag, all lowercase, on YouTube. But for the series as a whole, I think I was inspired a lot by Souls creators. You know, one of the huge names being VatiVidya. Like, most people have encountered him at one point or another. Like, you'll see commented under, like, trailers for Shadow of the Erdtree, people are talking about him. He's the name in Souls lore. And he's got an amazing voice. His presentational voice is fantastic. And another Souls creator that I really want to credit, in fact, I may be citing some when we get to, I think I might do Bloodborne after Hollow Knight. Just keep with that spooky, somber vibe, but a little bit more Lovecraftian, which I do like, is Tarnished Archaeologist. He's been picking up a lot of steam, but is still smaller than some of the huge names in the Souls space. Oh, hang on. Ah, damn, I need the Monarch Wings. Another thing to remember. But Tarnished Archaeologist has done mostly work in Elden Ring, but also some in Bloodborne. I believe he's also touched some on the actual Dark Souls games. He really takes this approach to like gameplay and world building that I really want to emulate in these. Like, I would almost be worried about stealing his shtick, but we are sort of doing a genre video here. But no, he is like absolutely a fantastic creator, and someone who will talk about archaeological things, like talk about like the strata in a world, we'll talk about different cultural movements and time periods, and watching his videos kind of like taught me how I would want to structure these. Obviously we're streaming, so it's a little different. We can't... Nice. Oh god. Oh dear god. Oh dear. Oh god. Oh no, 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 god. Oh dear god, no. Ugh. Okay. Forgot about grub mimics there for a second. Okay. Jesus Christ. Here's the real grub, everybody. I didn't panic. Yeah, his personality as a creator, his presentational style, blends this perfect combination of, like, academic dryness in a way I really enjoy with this very approachable, like, creator's energy. And I do take a lot of inspiration from him. I highly recommend his videos. Just a very, well, I mean, I don't know him as a person, but very cool creator with some very cool ideas. Yeah, and here is this very Hallownest-y looking lift that we can now take back up to the Crystal Peak. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Welp. Guess we're just going back through it when we get back. Oh man, I'm good at streaming. I'm amazing at planning out routes and making things efficient. Alright, so next stop, now that we have our beautiful Crystal Dash, there are other spots that we'll be able to use it. Like I said, Green Path has a really good one. But we are on an efficiency mission today. And I believe the best place to stop will be... Let me think here. We may... I'm trying to remember the map off the top of my head because I don't want to open up the menu. Yeah, I think the best move we have is to get to the city storerooms. No, maybe King's Station. We're going to take King's Station, and while we were in Dirtmouth, we could have given Sly the Shopkeeper key. We'll do that later. Yeah, we're going to pass through here, through the City of Tears. Update that map. And then we're going to head down to the Ancient Basin. Again, here in yet another beautiful stag station. I love the, like Grand Central Station, readout signs that we have back here. The logographic language is very, very cool. Oh god! We're good, we're good, we're good. We're so good, we're so fine, we're so back. We need to figure out how to get into here at some point. I think there's some entrances from the waterways we might be able to take. The waterways is our next stop after we finish up the Crystal Peak. So who's ready for a sewer level? Yay! Can I get to the basin from up here is the big question. Don't have a map. Great. Yeah, because I think this technically counts as the waterways. There's some very interesting bleed over between the maps. Yeah, we're getting more gloomy and voidy as we go down here. And if I'm not mistaken, I have already gotten the Whispering Root around here. Don't have a map. Gotta remember that. Yeah, I have. Kingdom above, palace below, servant's path. Yeah, just reminding us that what we're in is technically like a service elevator for courtiers and retainers of the Pale King. Okay, perfect. We are exactly where we need to be. So, there's not a ton we can do in the Ancient Basin right now. We are mostly just here for the spooky ambiance. But one thing we'll be able to do very soon is get a glimpse at the palace of the Pale King himself, one of the most interesting architectural features of Hallownest. Anyone who's played the game before, don't spoil it. Yep, no map. Cornifer is around here somewhere, though. Maybe we'll have a map down. Did we talk to Cornifer last time? Again, it's been 2 weeks. Yeah, we did. Cool. Yeah, that just takes us to Deep Nest. I think Deep Nest will be the next stop after Royal Waterways and our little detour session. The next, critical path stop. Yeah, alright, we pop down here. Pop down here. Get that boy. Smack some dudes, as you do. One of my favorite activities. Pay for a bench, more hostile architecture. Again, the economy of Hallownest is so weird to me. I pay for the bench, it's taking money from someone, but that implies to me that either these benches are out for a very long time, we can come back here whenever and the bench will still be here, we don't have to repay for it. So either the benches are up for a really, really long time when no one has to pay for them, someone just needs to drop that in the community chest every now and again, or just no one used them. They're 150 geo, I'm not putting this bench out here. Alright, so we can pogo across all this, but there's no need. And when we have a lovely Crystal Dash. Miss that geo, it's fine. Ooh. Ooh, okay. We're good. Can't get up there yet. Yeah, we are without map around here. Yeah, we're going the right way. Oh, hang on. Let's get that geo while it's hot. Come on. Hustle, grind, set. Get that paper. Get that rock. It gets us how much? Like 30 odd? 35 geo? It's not bad. Pop down. Oh, great. Okay, cool. Just gonna face tank. Just keep hitting it. There we go. I do wonder, is that a Malek? A Malerk, okay. I don't know if they are in fact biologically related to the Maleks that we dealt with earlier on that little side path in this area. But it is entirely immobile and just spits venom, this time being Radiant's accursed venom from before. Grub Mimic, yes, we can confirm I did not in fact kill a grub. I killed a Grub Mimic. So no one get mad at me. No one can yell at me. You can yell at me for that, that's fine. Notice these little creatures here. These little light seeds. Now these look a lot like the life seeds that we collect from lifeblood cocoons. Just showing that like these little glowing energy-filled entities can also be infected. Completely infected, it says. But yeah, these are single cells, something we can see at this reduced size of the game. It's often easy to forget, while you're being spat at by monsters, that everything in this game is happening at a tiny, tiny scale. Which, I think, you know, the art style of the game does a lot, but I don't know if it always works to really convey that scale. And it's just something nice to think about every now. Really just nailed me midair there. Cool. Not a lot I could have done about that. I know there's like a specific pattern to how these venoms land, but I will be a fool and a coward before I learn how patterns work. Map, out here. You again. Or maybe you for the first time. These things all look the same. Not as like an offensive thing to them, they just have the same character model. Where? I keep checking the map like it's going to tell me anything. You. Infected balloon. I believe these are like the same things as the light seeds, but that's just a personal theory. Yeah, again, single cell organism. That inflates itself with internal gases. Yeah, I don't know. I know we need to go deeper. That's something to keep in mind. But a dead end here. Maybe we need to go up? Excuse me, fellas. Yeah, let's go down. When in doubt. Ooh. Oh, man, I have actually not been here before. A simple key. We love to see it. So what we're looking at here, let's see if we can read this guy. Mine. We're looking at another royal retainer, one of the bugs that served directly under the Pale King. Falling victim to the just general dangers you find in the Ancient Basin, which seems to have been entirely swallowed by one of these Malerks, or something similar to the Malerks. Can I female this thing at all? No. Which I don't even know how you get swallowed by an immobile organism. But these royal retainers were not really known for their nature savvy. But simple keys we're always happy to have. My throat's getting a little sore. See, part of my job now is actually talking, so I'm already a little hoarse from today. This episode of the Game Archives is sponsored by tap water. Tap water. You drink it. The city I'm in actually has like pretty good tap water. Like it's bar none not the worst I've ever had. I know folks who have family works with the waterworks. They're all very proud of it. Which it sounds a little silly on its face, sure, but you gotta take pride in something, you know? If you don't take pride in the things you do just because it, sounds goofy, then you're gonna miss out on a lot of the wonder in life. Yeah, I think this is the way I go. Yeah, alright, we're here. Does this look familiar to anyone? Can't dream nail it. Oh. Yeah, there we go. So this is another vessel, much like us, but controlled by something a little different. A broken vessel. Notice it doesn't move with the same precision that we do. It just sort of jumps around and swings wildly because it's being controlled by basically a hive mind. Not unlike the larger radiance itself. It heard me talking shit. And it actually kind of harries you while you're trying to heal by summoning up these little buddies to come at you. But yeah, this is one of the most like completely infected things we've seen. And I do really wish I had the time to dream nail it. Maybe next time we get it to... There's a really specific spot you can stand again, but again, I do not know it. Yeah, I did that so far away. I might die for this, but... Oh, and don't even get anything out of it. Cool. Yeah, alright, that got me. But it's an easy track back here. Yeah, I think that's going to be the goal. See if we can get it to hold still and dream nail it without taking too much damage. Because I'm really curious to see what kind of mind we access. Gather up a little soul on the way. Is this gonna hurt me bad? Ooh, okay, cool. We gotta win, I guess. Oh, now we get the creepy music in the background. We're about to lose like 4,000 Geo, aren't we? Gotta be confident. Gotta have faith in myself. Without the exciting music, it's actually a little easier to concentrate. Speaking of concentration. Oh, come on. This is like a really weird experience with the shade music. Ow. Go straight into it. Oh, now the music's starting up. Now that I'm very hurt. Hey, sometimes in Dark Souls you lose all your souls because you're being stupid. Sometimes you lose all your Geo. You gotta start from square one. Oh, that doesn't feel good. That is not a good feeling. And then there's that. That's also a bad feeling that we don't like. Just keep it cool. Keep it cool. We're professionals. We're academics. We're professionals. We're academics. And we don't cry when things hurt us really badly. I am going back for the bench. I am so thrown. Excuse me. Just do a little crystal dash of shame here. Okay, get a little health back. We got 1 Geo to our name. Oh, God. Again, we don't need to spend too much Geo soon, but we did have 3,000. Almost 4,000. But again, it doesn't hurt as bad as the Souls games, because you don't need it to level up. It's just nice. Nice to have. Ugh. Alright, you. Come here. Thank you. Oh, 3 Geo, thank you. Alright, you and me. Let's go. Brother. This boss gave me a lot of trouble the first time I fought it. I remember it's just... Those patterns are like really simple, but really deceptively so. I'm too far away, and I'm about to get hit. giving me trouble now. Yep, it's gonna... Oh, I thought it killed me. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm gonna live, I'm gonna live! Yeah, no, wow, wow. I am rusty. I am once again rusty. So, well, let's talk a little bit of lore while we're here and we have no money. So yeah, the broken vessel. It is... Ooh, God, that's rough. That's a rough one. Because you get in the groove of coming back to this fight and you forget about the spikes every time. At least I do. But yeah, the broken vessel is... Well, it's one of us. Remember way back in Greenpath when they fought Hornet, we saw... She had just killed another vessel that looked a lot like we do. And this is no different. It's another one of these. How it ended up here, I think it crawled out of a similar hole as we did. It came from the void. Which is, I think, pretty much an open secret now in our lore discussions. Yeah, we came out of the void. We are related to the void. And the void is here. We can see these particles in the air that denote it along with just the general gloom of the area. Those little jumps, man. They get you. Yeah, I don't know how people do hitless runs at this game. Like, moves like that, those like little bullet hell moves that are just no fun. Ooh. You sly little bastard, you got me. This is just a time I used to face tank. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, baby. Okay. It is, again, I guess I'm just rusty on the sticks, I'll tell you. But, yeah, we should at least, I'm knocking on wood so hard right now, we should be able to get the Monarch wings before the end of the stream, at the very least. Why'd I do that? I'm just so... I assume I took damage. Hey, come here. Yeah, and after we get that, a lot of the game's going to open up. Just gotta be patient. Just roll and poke, Dark Souls it. You can't get greedy. It's the same rules as any other like Souls game. You just don't get greedy and watch your environment. That's all. Just hit the boss and then never get hit. That's how you win. I want to dream nail you. Freaking do those little Smash style short hops. Nothing. You don't get anything out of it. That's really interesting. I think that both like speaks to the nature of the vessel that this thing is, ow, and also the fact that there are these... Oh, okay, finally got it. It's gotta lock in, gotta focus. These single-celled, brainless organisms controlling it. Oh, man. It's a kind of a jerky animation, but it is still really sad. The way it reaches for you. You see its little, like, little jet black arm like ours reaches up. I, personally believe it's a sort of recognition. This thing seeing something like it. Alright, half an hour left in the stream, and we're getting what we need to get. Why is this ledge here? Yeah, notice these, like, black grasses, the fact that everything here has these, like, roots and tendrils that's been affected by, to some degree or another, by this void element that is sort of looming over the lower half of the story here. Another very weird consumption there. We saw a bunch of little ethereal butterflies floating around this mark of the Pale King, the seal of Hallownest. And again, why was this area made? We can see very obviously there are this royal architecture around here. These like markings on the walls. This place was labored over. A lot of work was put in here. Very much in like a mid to late Hallownest era. Again, nice. You love when a Metroidvania has the double jump. But is this just a shrine? Were the Monarch Wings so important that they required a... We're not doing this now. We can dream nail this to go into a harder boss fight, but we do not have time in the stream. You saw how much trouble I had just with that one. We're going to come back, more health, more damage, and see about it, because that just is a good way of getting us essence. In fact, I don't know if I beat no eyes last time around. Fun fact about me is that I'm pretty good at platforming, really bad at bosses. I hear him. There they are. You. Get away from me. It sucks having this few Geo. Yet again, I come back to the question, why does a single-celled organism have $10 on it? Yeah, oh god, the Monarch Wings open up so many traversal options. I believe... yeah, we just need to be over that. This is kind of an awkward... Again, just pause for a second. Just the complete lack of background music, the absolute nothing in the ambiance here. It is very a go girl, give us nothing type situation. But, I mean, like... Oh, thank you for that. What was I saying before I was rudely interrupted? Like, this area is... It always, to this day, makes me a little uncomfortable. Just because, like, you're so used to, you know, this excellent score in this game. And now, you know, what is it? It's just the barest sound of wind. And I think it encapsulates a lot of the theme of, you know, this lower area of the game. It's this is a really tough little bit, but I can hear a grub. No grub left behind. Let's go. It's this, like, very bare, like, forgotten area of the world that we are now tasked with exploring. And it makes you kind of think, like, this is, when you think about it, what the entire game sounds like to our protagonist. It's just this constant silence. And again, you know, I always wonder how much the vessel feels, how much our knight, you know, can actually think and feel about its environment. You know, you think, being unable to talk, you know, we're here with me talking to myself for so long. If you're a thing that can't talk, that just moves on its own mission, then, you know, what... Oh, we got it. This whole game is just this constant march. It's spooky. It's eerie. Alright, got a grub. I think that's all we need here. Ooh, frames are dipping just a little bit. Just slide right back. Take the bench. Make sure we didn't miss anything on the map. Yeah, that all looks good. Love a nice clean-edged map. Okay. So yes, now we can actually explore the palace grounds. Now, let me tell you, the Pale King's Palace, the Pale King's home, is absolutely beautiful. It's this incredible, near impossible piece of architecture that exists here just below the City of Tears. So we can now double jump up to it and get ready for it. You guys ready to see it? The great bridge that leads to the palace grounds, these beautiful lights. Look how much work. And again, we see the symbology of the Pale King in these four spires on top of these lights, unlike anything that we see in the City of Tears. Where'd the palace go? Hey, where's the palace? I'm goofing, I'm joshing. Yes, something really interesting to take on in the lore here is that the Pale King, when things really hit the fan, like we can't, you know, plan A, B, C, and D all failed. The Radiance could not be forgotten about. The Radiance couldn't be contained. It couldn't be cured with soul. And eventually they found that it could not be held even inside of the Hollow Knight itself, the Pale King just vanished. That is why, like, in this, major part of the game, in the actual physical world, slight spoilers, we can't actually find the Pale King, because just one day, basically out of the blue, the entire Pale Palace just vanished, was pulled into another realm. And all we have left here is a King's Mold. This is the absolute most elite royal guards, King's Molds, which you'll notice have these long, jet black tentacles coming out of it and rooting it into the ground. These are, much like us, beings associated with the void. And as much as I'd like to dream nail it, we don't quite have the essence yet. Here we have more royal retainers that were left behind. Where have you gone, dear king? And here, notice we have stag station signs, but written on these black and white signs, this really, really unusual environment here. Everything down here feels a little uncanny. And specifically, I want to point out... Oh, I don't have enough geo. Because I lost all my geo. Fantastic. Well, I would like to summon the stag down here, but it would take a while to farm up the proper amount of geo. Maybe when we come back. Oh, God, we're going to have to come back from the City of Tears. It's fine. It's not a long walk. It's okay. My own hubris comes back to bite me. But yeah, we have here these spools specifically of thread. I believe I can see no other explanation other than these being spider silk. Now, this station, I can tell you right now, without the helpful commentary of our friend, the last stag, this spider silk, this whole station is entirely secret. Hidden behind a breakable wall, in a very off-limits area of Hallownest, we can see, still with this very royal, regal, almost like threatening architecture in here. And these bizarre spools. Now, thread is very important. We noticed that Hornet, when we fought her earlier, she uses her needle and thread. And thread, much like Hornet, is associated with the weavers and the spiders in Deep Nest. Now, there is, I believe, a distinct difference between just an average spider and a weaver. Weavers come from a faraway place. Speculatively, maybe Farloom, I think, perhaps. But that's being the setting for Silksong. I'm going to put Silksong in the tags. But yeah, I think like they all kind of cleared out once the writing was on the wall, once things were getting bad, much like the Pale King. But the question arises, like it begs the question: what did the Pale King want with all that thread? What were all these spools for? Because thread in this game, in this world, can create seals of binding. It can create powerful magical effects. Perhaps, and we saw that sealing, like that shield around that King's Mold there. I speculate that this thread, this specific form of weaver magic, really seems like the kind of magic that would be spelled with a CK at the end. This specific form of magic may have been what the Pale King needed to whisk away an entire palace, and then to block off the place it was taken to. Because the main source that we see for thread is to seal things, to block them away. Seals of binding, we'll see those more once we get deeper into Deep Nest. Man, I really wish I had that stag station. Yeah, I don't think 300 Geo is exactly in our future, but well, we get to show off the Mothwing. I keep saying Mothwing Cloak. The Monarch Wings. They'll make that elevator shaft a lot easier. Oh, also a little linguistic thing I want to show off here. These signs that we've been seeing that are pointing down to the Pale King's Palace, note that they are very much in the shape of a seal of Hallownest, doubtless very much the shape of the Pale Palace, but it has that open door in the middle. I would like to think that, again, we have a almost hieroglyphic language that the Bugs of Hallownest used. I believe that might be a combination of symbols, like Seal of Hallownest, meaning like, important place of Hallownest, or the Pale King's Palace, with the shape of a door inside of it, so it means Pale King Place, Pale King's Palace. Which, the more I say it, the Pale King's Palace sounds like a Vegas casino. It sounds like a really cool Vegas casino, actually. River, if you're watching this video on the VOD, write that down. If you've seen me talking to the chat sometimes in the past, that's River, who is a good friend of mine. He has actually streamed in the past, and he has the best name. He has River Streams. You know, I can't compete with that. But he is a big lover of extravagance and vice, so I want to pitch any casino ideas to him. Out of my way. Out of my way, rich people. Alright. Clear the way. Oh, they're sturdier than they look. Alright, cool. We're making that money back. Making that money back, little by little. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I think my plans for, like, between streams, once I have some time, is I'm gonna figure out how to get in sort of the back rooms of the City of Tears. If I remember correctly, you start from the Royal Waterways, they kind of connect to everything. But we're gonna find ways to poke around, get into the really interesting nitty-gritty. Oh good, yeah, right, I've already opened up the waterways. I forgot I did that. Go past me. Do I have anything that Lem might want? Hey bud. Yeah, just one Wanderer's Journal. Wanderer's Journal? Yes, yes, I'll add it to the pile with the others. I don't know when I'll get to decipher this one. It's long, hard work translating the many languages of the bugs that explore these caverns. No relics yet. That's also another really interesting piece of insight I hadn't thought of before. We're not looking at just one language, and that actually really makes sense. You know, Hallownest to the bugs is huge. So obviously, you know, Mantis might be its own language. Deep Nest might have its own language among the more articulate bugs there. Like, the fact that, like, you look at a Wanderer's Journal, you'll see the same writing system. It's like having, you know, like Arabic numerals or Roman symbols, but it might be, you know, 100 different languages. Which, again, you think about, you know, when we go into a stag station, all those different signs could be in who knows how many different languages just written in the same script. That's one issue you kind of have when you're looking into, you know, deciphering things purely from text. In fact, I remember a while back, just because, you know, I'm not the most competent linguist in the world, but I do have a love of dead languages. I was learning some Scottish Gaelic there for a while. And Gaelic, it uses, you know, when it's written out, the same, like, Roman, like, English lettering system, but a lot of the letters just make completely different sounds. So it's a real feat, like, deciphering any language that we haven't heard spoken. Let's see here. But, luckily enough, just like if we were to be able to understand the bug babble of this game, let's pop up to Dirtmouth real quick, do some chores, then we'll head back down, and why did I send the elevator back up? It keeps hitting me. Why did I send the elevator back up? Anyway, can't dwell on it. But when we're deciphering these languages, if we were to, say, understand the sort of bug babbles that they use, which I think we've pretty much confirmed are gibberish, then we would be able to see descendant languages. Hey, what do you have there? Why, that's the key to my storeroom. I thought I'd lost it for good. Did you find it in those old mines, perhaps? Very curious. I have no idea how it ended up in such a remote place. Very honest of you to return it to me. Yes, very kind. And now that I can open my old storeroom up, I can sell you some of the rare stock that's been gathering dust in there. These items may be a little time-worn, but they still retain their full market value. Very precious stuff. Take a look. Yeah, we, believe it or not, don't have any money, but there's some really solid charms, and the elegant key. That's something I need to remember to come back for. Once again, wish I had money. But yeah, that's all I wanted to do up here. Let's hop down and just get ourselves up to the Crystal Peak again. It's not that bad of a... Oh, right. Yeah, the Forgotten Crossroads have changed. I didn't know it happened this early. Yeah, welcome to the Infected Crossroads. So yeah, now that we're kind of... I thought it happened after you killed a Dreamer. Yeah, now that we're messing with the Dreamers, in familiar areas are becoming a little bit more dangerous. Yeah, you can see now that there are these pustules everywhere, like we saw down in the void. There are, like, these, the plants are taking on an orange sheen. Everything is taking on infection. And we have these, I really, honestly, I think I should put out some sort of trigger warning for these. But we have these huge, like, pulsing pustules here. Some of the bugs here are still okay. Others, you can see, are now weighed down by the weight of their infection. The Radiance is getting upset, and it's starting to rest free. And we have more of those life seeds. Yeah, I think it might be after... Yeah, I guess it's after you beat the vessel. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay. Yeah, things get a little bit more hairy here. It's a furious Vengelfly. I see Vengelfly. I see an L there every time. It's Vengefly. Maddened by massive infection. Like, this is obviously... It's not pleasant. Like, even though these bugs are essentially dead, it seems that in this half-life state, they are still... Oh, Jesus. It was the last time I was here. Yeah, excuse me, big guy. I just took a wrong turn. I just took a wrong turn. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, go down for the Crystal Peak. Yeah. Also, something to note is that some areas are going to be blocked off. Like, the infection is going to make things a little harder to get around. Yeah, no, that is something I'll have some more lore on when we come back next time. But honestly, all there really is to say about it is... Oh, wait, she's picking again. Oh, hang on. Like I said, the infection is spreading. Let's maybe do the right thing. Yeah, I can't dream now. I'm sorry, Mila. Oh man, this game really likes to punch you in the gut, doesn't it? Yeah, no, I knew that was coming the whole time. We see the infection starting to take over, and I think that is something, like, a brilliant thing this game does. Again, me singing the praises of Hollow Knight. Rancid egg for us. For our troubles. Is that, you know, we're tearing through all these enemies. These guys, you know, die in 2 hits. They just throw pickaxes at us. It's not a big deal. But we have to remember that they were people. You know, basically any upright bug that we see, and him, maybe even considering the last stag, a lot of the quadrupedal ones, they used to be thinking, feeling things, and the character of Mila, that's what she's there to show us. She was nice, if not naive. She was kind. And we saw her become just an enemy. Same as every single one of these guys. Yeah, we're just going up. That's the move. Fortunately, even though I foolishly sent the elevator back up, all we have to do is climb. Most of our way is open for us. Ow. Unless I take another wrong turn. They really catch you midair with these pickaxes, man. What time is it? Alright, we got about 15 minutes left, and if I can make good time, I think I have a perfect place to stop. This stream just flew by, man. I miss doing this, even for a week. Because it's tough with, like, motivation, right? You know, like, you get off something for a week, you break a habit, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you know, I gotta plug in my mic, I've already talked so much today, you know, I'm tired, I just kind of want to, like, lie on the couch and, like, watch Dimension 20 or something like that. Which, always highly recommend, dropout.tv, $6 a month. I need more people to talk to about the insane shows they put on there. But getting back into it, like, once you get yourself in the motion of really anything, but especially the things you enjoy, you know, motivation breeds motivation. That's yet another quote from my man River. I'm sure he got it from somewhere else, but it's one I associate with him. But once you get to something, you have to kind of remind your brain that you enjoy it. That, you know, hey, this is a hobby, this is a thing you love doing, and your brain's gonna fight and wrestle with you because so much of being an adult and growing up is just the act of parenting yourself. But this is a little reminder that if you don't quite feel like doing something you know you enjoyed, maybe take another swing at it. I'm not going to go in here yet. That's going to be next stream. Because, yeah, I can just go up and around and not have to worry about it. There's a whole other boss fight that would probably eat into our time if I were to die even once. But if we get up to where we're going early, I might take us on a little field trip and go fight the boss. Oh. But we've seen my track record with bosses, and you can also see that my tiredness is starting to come through in my gameplay here. So, no amount of double jumping can really do much for us here, but cool. And our double jump gets us where we need to go. Oh man, forgot about these guys. They're so abrupt. Yeah, this is the first time since the boss we can actually see enemies that are very consciously using this light beam. Thank you for that. Alright. It's another reason why I'll be glad to be done with the Crystal Peak, is the enemies here can get a little tiresome. Nice shot, bud. There we go. They're not very good with the laser, but, they're certainly confident. I mean, if I could shoot lasers out of my hands, I would be too. I would be so cocky. No problem. Ooh. I heard, yep. That's not... There we go. A little bit of a waste of soul, but what would I be if not inefficient? This would not be a Game Archive stream if I wasn't absolutely whiffing at every possible turn. But hey, I know the lore. That's what you come here for, that's what I do this for. I think it would be more satisfying, like, if I was, like, an absolute, like, no-hit pro at the game who could also, talk through all the lore while I was doing it, but I mean, hey, just ask me to walk on water here, Be good at the game and know stuff? No. No, sir. Let's see, we're nearing the very, very top. In these last few dark caverns, we need to pull out our Lumafly lantern. Whoa. There we go. Again, not clean, but done. Often it's important to know the difference between done perfect and just done. Notice the Crystal Dash does do damage, but you'll often take damage doing it too. You need to go. You're gone, and I'm glad for it. Nothing over here? It really feels like something. But notice also we're starting to lose that purple background color. We're becoming more along the lines of that gray kind of Dirtmouth air. Because we're up here. Yeah, and notice up here, this is a really, really interesting area. We have these strange lit up stone... Ooh, sorry about that noise. These strange lit up stones here. Again, showing some sort of logography that I can't really place. I don't know if I can match it to anything else. The thing it looks like the most are actually the standing stones that we found on the way into the game in the Howling Cliffs. But again, the markings on them, like, it's almost like a magic eye. Your eyes start to play tricks on you. I see maybe a face. I see maybe pipes. the main thing to focus on in the scene here is that this archway, again, you know how I was talking about radiance imagery last stream and earlier on in this one? This is some of the clearest radiance imagery that we can find in the game. And again, like, this is obviously like a cultural place of importance here at the very top of the world. Notice we can't read these. They just light up, showing us these patterns over and over again. And here, this is the radiance. Not like not an example, not a metaphor. This is what the radiance looks like. And it is we've learned not the last per se, but the most prominent remaining imagery of it. This was Palor, also very mysteriously found here. Maybe an offering, maybe a part of the rock itself. But yeah, we have about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna talk. This is really, really impactful what we find here. This is, the find of a century if we're talking from like historical and archaeological records, because the Pale King very intentively got rid of the radiance. There was only one light that would rival his, and it was of this god of the moths, this ruler of the moth tribe, the radiance, the rising dawn. And so it would stand to reason that, these statues probably existed in other places. These were in other areas, but they were likely destroyed. But this is an extremely remote area. And we see here this, I don't want to say architecture, but this artwork, these structures, they're not found literally anywhere else. I'll sip of water because I'm really talking now. Yeah, you don't really find these anywhere because this is a unique cultural location. And again, we saw, maybe some imagery of it, but in the resting grounds and places that are still important to the moths. But I think this is maybe the clearest example we have. This is a very distinct symbol of a radiating starburst. This connects, I believe, the radiance to the sun, it being kind of a sun god. Though in a world that's mostly underground, that light, the light that these moths may have never seen, is intoxicating. It's something more than just the thing that's overhead all the time. And judging by the weather around here, it's not something that's seen very often. But looking at the positioning of this statue, the way it's facing and its outstretched wings, I believe this might be, and if we're taking the game as like, as like we're looking at a map, it is in fact, it's facing west, so it would be facing a setting sun and be outlined behind it by a rising sun. Again, this is all speculative. We don't really know which way the game is facing. But if we look here, we see the imagery, the placement, all of this is very, very culturally important for whatever practices, whatever rituals were done by the moths to honor the radiance. So the radiance itself, I strongly maintain it's forceful, it's vindictive, it is enraged now, but it's not necessarily evil. It's evil in the way that the Pale King is evil. It desires worship. It thrives off of attention. And when a god is killed, when the idea of a god is removed from the world, it doesn't die. This is more metaphorically true in times of cultural decimation, when in colonial states people's culture, their practices were removed from them. Those feelings, those practices, they maintain. They stay in the culture because you can't just pluck a piece of a culture out. Not only are places like this still going to exist, you're not going to find every single statue, you're not going to destroy every single holy place, but the very practices of a culture remain, whether they have a name for their god or not. And I believe you can see that with obviously more newly built structures in the resting grounds, those radiance patterns. The moths may not have known why they built those at that point. Either they're old enough that it was during the time of radiance worship, or it was still ingrained in that cultural memory. We don't know how quickly the moths went away. We just know that the current seer, the one who's left, is penitent. She likely knows of what was lost to some degree. And in this world, in a place where dreams are very real, where the themes of the world become very much manifest, this is a world with straight up magic in it, we see that when something is sealed away, something bright and unstoppable and vindictive, like the Radiance. Like, vindictive, I don't necessarily say in a negative way, per se, just in a matter of fact. It's a thing that does not like to share the spotlight because it is the spotlight. The Radiance couldn't really be sealed away. Like I said, down in the Ancient Basin, you know, forgetting about it didn't work. The vessel didn't work. The dreamers didn't work. It keeps coming out, and when it comes out as more and more malignant, more angry, more like a disease. And that, I believe, is the greatest failing of the Pale King. We see it all over the place. It's his hubris. He wanted to be the one and only spiritual presence in Hallownest. He wanted the eternal kingdom. And to create a kingdom eternal, you have to find a way to stop the sun from rising. And that is something that is truly impossible. And we see what happens when the nature of things, the very, not just the way that like someone like the Pale King might say, oh, this is the real nature of things. No, I mean the turning of the seasons, the changing of the sun, the natural world when that's upset. It's not something that goes away quietly. So no, I don't blame the Radiance. In fact, I blame the Pale King more. It's dangerous. It's an angry god. It's something that thinks and knows what it's doing, but it's almost like an animal lashing out, something that's kept in captivity, just trying to do what it was made to do. And here we have the last of it. The last vestige of a Radiance that was respected, not feared, that was understood, not hidden away. Again, in a place with no music, a place with just the wind. All right, we will be closing up about 2 minutes early, but I think that's a good place to stop. Thank you so much, everyone who joined the stream. It's always good to see Rev. Thank you for joining in. I am so happy to have people joining on the stream, having followers joining the Twitch channel, and please, please, please check me out on YouTube at Game Archives. Subscribe, leave a comment, nice or mean, I don't care. Leave a like, get that algorithm going. And I will see everyone next week in the archive. Thank you so much.